All right, guys, so today in front of me from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, we have the 2022 George T. Stagg. This one comes in at 138.7 proof, just shy there of that hazmat proof range. So this one was distilled in the spring of 2007, which makes this one 15 years and 5 months. Now, you know, George T. Stagg has obviously been one of my very favorites. You know, I would have a William LaRue Weller right behind that. For me, anyway. I know a lot of people like the William LaRue Weller. Nothing wrong with that pour, absolutely fantastic. But for me, I think the George T. Stagg is just that one fits my palate a little bit better. But again, you know, this one was distilled in 2007. This is one of the highest proof ranges outside of that 2016 was the last one that was that 144.1 proof, I believe. Regardless to say, guys, I'm definitely excited to get into this review. So without further ado, let's go. All right, guys, so as I stated, this one comes in at 138.7 proof. It's aged for 15 years, 5 months. It was barreled in 2007. So, again, 2020 Stagg, I think, was very, very good. I still think the 2017 Stagg that I think I had reviewed that one was a little bit better than the 2020, in my opinion. Both of them are very, very good. But then as you go back into some of those older releases, like that, I mean, 2016 was good, drank hot. 2012, absolutely fantastic. And a couple other years prior to that were just absolutely phenomenal. Hoping that this one, you know, kind of catches on to some of those older George T. Stagg profiles. So, about to find out, guys. Getting in the nose. Cheers. Yeah, so I mean, one of the first things that I get, like always on the George T. Stagg, is the burnt brown sugar and some brown butter there on the further into the glass. And surprisingly, for 138.7 proof, you're not getting a lot of that ethanol. Like the further you put your nose into the glass, it's not there. It's not burning the nostrils. It comes off very, very sweet further into the glass. Again, that you know, burnt brown sugar, the brown butter, that like nice kind of rich, dense caramel. So further away from the glass, surprisingly, is kind of where I pick up more of that oak. I do pick up some cherry further away from the nose as well. Slight hint of like molasses and maybe some coffee there. I don't remember getting a lot of coffee on the nose, like a coffee bean, on some of those past releases. But further away, you definitely pick up like a slight hint of that coffee bean note. But again, a lot of that oakiness and cherry starts to appear there further away from the glass. Further in, it's that deep, rich, you know, caramel, that dense caramel, and then burnt brown sugar, some brown butter. Beautiful nose, guys. Let's get in the palate. Cheers. So one thing I will note about this is its viscosity. The oils that it leaves around the palate is just insane, especially being, you know, 15 years, 5 months. You would think that oakiness will dry you out. It does not. A lot of nice, you know, some of that, there's some rye there that kind of makes it like its first appearance there on the middle of the palate. Kind of tingles the palate a little bit. Get in front of the palate, that burnt brown sugar, that burnt caramel, kind of nice, kind of vanilla kind of undertone that kind of flows through from the front to the back. And then the back of the palate, slight hint of that cherry that I picked up on the nose. Not as much cherry as some of the past Stagg releases, but the you know, on the first sip anyway, that cherry makes that appearance more towards the back of the palate. But the viscosity on this one and the oiliness, it's just all over the inside of the cheeks, the gums, the soft palate at the top. Man, that is good. That is really good. Let's get a second sip, guys. So now see, like, now that sip changed a lot. So Mid to back palate, again, on the front of the palate, there's still that sweetness. It's, again, burnt brown sugar. There's burnt caramel. Some of that brown butter kind of makes an appearance there on the front of that palate. That sweetness, again, some of that spiciness. Again, probably from the proof, and maybe the rye still kind of making its presence known there on the middle of the palate. But that's kind of where, and it's not a super dominant oak. It is very mild for a 15-year 5-month, but you do get some of that, those tannins. It's a little tannic. It's not overly done, but again, the viscosity just all over the gums, the soft palate, the cheeks, and then so on the back of the palate, you get this like kind of burnt molasses and like a burnt molasses tobacco kind of mixture into the finish. Very, very small hint of like cherry that kind of follows through. Again, it's not as cherry forward as some of the last years, but that tobacco molasses kind of almost like along that like burnt side it's beautiful. And again, the viscosity just sticks around. It's a long finish, very long finish. I mean, I could still feel it going down. It's not one of the ones that kind of drags the flavors down. I really wish it did, but it still just lingers on. I still feel it going down. Oils all over the gums and the palate. And that is a beautiful whiskey. God dang, that's beautiful. Let's get a last sip, guys. Cheers. So right there on the center of the palate, after that, the burnt brown sugars, the brown butter, the caramel kind of go through. There's that beautiful sassafras note that sits there, right along the center of the palate, like where that spiciness was. I absolutely love that note. Again, what's weird is I don't get any of that coffee bean like that I got on the nose. I've never really had that in any stag before, but that sassafras note is just amazing. And again, its viscosity has stayed consistent from sip to sip to sip. Mildly oaky, mildly tannic. I mean, just very, very. Definitely on that low level. I mean, it's not that much for being 15 years, 5 months. This is a sexy pour right here. I mean, it's fantastic. I love George T. Stagg. I love the profile of George T. Stagg. And this one is it's a next level pour. It is absolutely fantastic. The finish is just still lingering on. It still has oils all around my cheeks, my gums, the soft palate, all over it. It's absolutely outstanding. Amazing job here by Buffalo Trace. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. And guys, what a hitter of a bottle. I was able to grab one of these before the end of the year. This one just blows it away. It blows away the 2020, the 19, the 18, the 17, the 16. This is going back to some of those older George T. Staggs that had just that amazing profile. Not all of them were amazing. This one, in my opinion, is definitely a next level pour. This will definitely be in contention for my top 20 whiskeys of the year, which by the time you see this video, I will have already started doing my top 20 blind. Either way, outstanding 5-star pour here from Buffalo Trace, guys. So if you're looking for more reviews like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Until next time, guys, stay dusty.